Greetings from the farm. This week for the third winter share, we're in the house because it's windy and cold outside. We have, from out in the field earlier in the week, 2 bags of spinach. And some of the leaves are larger because they actually grew through the month of November with all of the warm weather. The stems we left deliberately long because the sugars concentrate there and they're really, really tasty. We also harvested leeks earlier in the week. The leeks made it through that cold snap very well. And we're pairing those again with potatoes. There are 2 boxes of potatoes, either red or white, in each share. And if you can, make a potato leek soup or any other recipe that calls for leeks. It's quite a nice share of leeks. We usually don't get them this large, so the crew is very excited. There's a bunch of thyme that was harvested outdoors for soups and any other kinds of recipes that call for thyme. This is really, really tasty, very aromatic. A couple of small heads of garlic. Again, 2016 for us was a poor garlic year, hence the smaller size. Next year, we've already mulched our 2017 garlic. Hopefully all of it's larger. We have celeriac. If you're unfamiliar with this, it's celery root. And so you just peel it. On the inside, it'll have this kind of weird mottled coloration. Just use your nose. It'll smell like mild celery. We like to eat it raw or in any cooked recipe that calls for celery. Red beets, a number of red beets, some of which are quite large, but they've been very good. I like to roast them, or sometimes they're really nice cut into slabs and then roasted in the oven like you would a sweet potato. Parsnips, these parsnips are unwaxed, so we don't even bother peeling them. If you'd like to peel them, you can with a vegetable peeler. We just cut them into rounds and add them to soups, or we also like to saute them with the garlic in butter and then eat them that way, especially if you can get them to caramelize a little bit. More Brussels sprouts from the field. We've been picking Brussels sprouts all day today in preparation for next week. These have been frosted in the field. I like to just trim the ends, so you see how the ends are drying out a little bit. I like to take a paring knife and trim that. We often will cut them in half, not always. And we like to saute them in butter and garlic as well, but they're good steamed or roasted. If you can't keep up on them, they freeze really well. Just cut the ends off and then blanch them for about 3 to 4 minutes. Run them under ice water, throw them in a Ziploc bag, freezer baggie, and they come out tasting quite nice later in the winter. This is quite a large bag of Brussels sprouts, so if you can't eat them all, feel free to do that. More sweet potatoes out of the cold storage unit. Again, just anywhere you'd use sweet potatoes. We had a really good sweet potato year this year. You'll see more of them again in 2 weeks. Some of our frosted carrots. One way to tell if they've been frosted in the field is that red coloration on the top. That's perfectly normal. That was exposed to sub-zero temperatures. These are very, very sweet. It's hard for us to use them in cooking because the kids tend to eat most of them raw. And then we have a bunch of kale that we picked yesterday. And the kale, you'll notice the color is a little more pale. It actually tastes a lot better after a freeze, kind of like collard greens and Brussels sprouts. So use it anywhere you'd like to use kale. And soup, especially, this kale is quite nice. Until next time, I guess we're going to keep harvesting roots because Melissa's going to ask me. We'll keep harvesting roots until it gets too cold to do so. We have a few more parsnips in the field that we could dig. We're still picking some Brussels sprouts. We're mulching some of our trees. I need to haul compost, but it's a little on the wet side to do so. So that may get done in the spring. And what else were we going to do? We're kind of winding down. It's about time to start ordering seed for next year. So
start on field mapping.
Field mapping and all that kind of stuff. So until next time in 2 weeks, have a good one.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi!
What are you doing?
Pulling up grass from the base of these trees.
Yeah.
And preparing a spot for the mulch.
All right. Who's on the mulching crew?
Eric and Andy.
Nice. All right. Here we are with Carlos, and he is picking sprouts. Let's see how he does that. It's a labor of love, going through each stalk and picking off what's good. So, thank you, Carlos.